All right, so welcome to Products That Count. I am Boone. I am the San Francisco chapter head, and I am really happy to have you here tonight. For how many of you is this your first event? Okay, awesome. So about half of you. That's pretty standard for what we see around here. It's great to have those of you who are back for your second event or third event. We love having repeat Products That Count members. It's great. For those of you who are not familiar with Products That Count, Products That Count is one of the largest networks of product managers in the world for product managers and product leaders who can come and connect and learn about building great products. We are very lucky to have great product leaders, VP level, C-level product leaders come and share something unique with us every month. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Yelp, who has been so great, been with us since day one. They offer this space, they host us here, they provide the pizza and the beer. They're a wonderful team to work with. They're doing great things. And if you want to learn more about Yelp, if you're interested in learning about working with Yelp, you can go back to the red little Yelp sign in the back there. I think it's Cole in the back there. He's waving his hand. And talk to him, learn more about what they're doing. They're always hiring engineering, product designers, etc. Next, I'd like to thank Amplitude. If you are looking to learn more about your product, if you want to get insights into user experience or what people are doing on your platform, I recommend checking out Amplitude. And mParticle, if you deal with large data sets or you have data coming in from many different products and platforms, mParticle can help you consolidate those into one sort of manageable system and better understand how your platforms are performing. And then finally, pragmatic marketing. If you are looking to learn more about becoming a better product leader or a marketing leader, a lot of great courses and things that you can learn from on their site. So check them out. Tonight, I'm really pleased to have Rita Sharma, who's coming from as VP of Sales VP of Health Cloud at Salesforce. I got my things mixed back and forth there, but she's going to speak to us about the power of platforms, which I think is something that's a little underserved in our community. I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say tonight. So warm welcome for Rita. Thank you.
Thank you, Boone. Thank you, everyone. I'm so excited to see you all and talk to you about power of platforms. Just let me make sure this clicker is working. Used to be. Yeah. Great, thank you. So thank you to start. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing me speak about my experiences here in the Valley. I'm super excited to share everything, and I'm also super excited to answer any questions and network and be here as a resource to you. So a little bit about me. I am the VP of Product Management for Healthcare Life Sciences at Salesforce. I was the very first hire for healthcare products. So I created a product called Health Cloud. I'll talk about my journey there. I was previous to that at a company called Gluco, which was in the diabetes management space, created a super cool mobile and population health application. I was doing both product management and marketing there. I was also at a company called, well, I had a company of my own in the integrative health space called Found Health. The reason we created Found Health is partly because of our own personal journey, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But we also created it because there's about $50 billion spent by consumers today on things like acupuncture, things like yoga, things like supplements, but there was no web analog to it. So we created a community and a content to be able to meet that need in the market. And I was at Handspring and and I will talk about that experience too. I attended UCLA for both bachelor's and MBA. Any Bruins in the house? Yes, yes. All right, so what you can't learn about me from LinkedIn. I have worked in healthcare and technology my entire career. That's what I've done. I've dedicated my life to it. And my passion for my work is 100% because of my mom. My mom was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes when she was in her early 30s. She went every year dutifully to the doctor. The doctor would say, you know, you're getting a little worse, watch your diet, exercise, and she'd listen, but not really. She didn't really make any lifestyle changes. This progressed, as diabetes always does, type 2. She then ended up with every comorbidity of the disease. So she had retinopathy. She lost feeling in her fingers, in her toes. She had her kidneys failed. Eventually, she did end up in a coma, and in 2007, I lost her. So everything I do, all the passion I have for my work, and why I continue to do it is because the work is so important for changing healthcare. I truly believe that technology can do it. And that's what gets me up in the morning, and that's why I continue to do what I do. Okay, so I want to also share with you, I started my yoga practice in LA with Bikram. And Bikram's super controversial right now. I don't know if people have kept up with the news around Bikram, but super controversial, but he was an amazing yoga teacher for me. Helped me change a lot of things about my health and my life. I'm so very grateful for that experience. I just had an opportunity to go to India for 3 weeks. And in that experience, I had a chance to ride a camel and ride an elephant. And that was super cool because I've never done those things before. So it was amazing. I got to see a totally different, what were you saying?
At the same time.
No, not at the same time. One leg on each, no, at different times. It was super cool. The camel through the desert and the elephant through Agra, and it was amazing. And I have 3 beautiful kids, and I'm super proud of them. So just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself other than what you can read on LinkedIn. So my journey started at Handspring. Handspring eventually became part of Palm. What was amazing about Handspring is we had a software platform, which was the Palm OS. We also had a hardware platform called Springboard. So my job, I came to the Valley to do this, my job was to do health development or market development on these 2 platforms, the Palm OS and Springboard. So as a result, what we ended up with is really cool apps, right? So Hippocrates, if anyone's familiar with health apps, is a medication database. They created a Palm OS application that could work on Handspring and work on any Palm OS devices. We also created some phenomenal hardware. So I worked with Roche, and they created a blood glucose monitor, and it sat in this Springboard platform right there. It's right there on top. You just slide it in, and now you've got a blood glucose monitor with a handheld. It was mind-blowingly transformational. Because what we did is created a whole set of really smart devices. Really smart blood glucose monitors. They could take data. Excuse me. They could take data from the blood glucose monitor, pull it into the application within the handheld, and give you insights about what was happening with the data. Medtronic developed a EKG and a drug controller. So all of a sudden, without going back to the FDA for regulatory compliance issues, which take years and years and years, they could build all the innovation of their platform onto this platform. It was amazing. It was the start of the first smart devices in the healthcare space, in medical devices. This is obvious. Everyone knows about this. Apple had its 10-year App Exchange anniversary last year, and we've seen an amazing proliferation of apps. But this is what blew my mind. iOS developers in the last 10 years have made $100 billion on the App Exchange. This is not talking about Apple's revenues relative to the App Exchange. This is just developers. So it has this effect of creating this other economy. It's had that effect at Salesforce too, and I will talk about that a little bit as well. So I realize this is a blank slide. Why do I have a blank slide? This is how I usually get hired at companies. So I went to Salesforce, and they said, you know, we need a healthcare product. We don't really know what it needs to be. We don't have any requirements. We don't know what the problem we're trying to solve is. We just know we need one. This is kind of how I start. This is kind of how Handspring started too. There was nothing. But many of us have had this experience, so I know I'm not alone. I'll talk about my process a little bit. So spent month one, and now I'm actually sharing actual data with you around creation of Health Cloud. So the first month was really around understanding, observing, understanding the market around healthcare, talking to our customers, understanding what the technology limitations had been thus far. Month two, synthesizing all that data, creating a hypothesis. Month three, we started to work with the designers, create some visualizations of what a potential solution might be, taking that hypothesis and turning it into something a little bit real. And month four was prototyping and only talking to the internal people, like our solution engineers and our salespeople. At this point, we weren't ready to talk to customers yet. Month five, we started implementing all those different changes and all the things we had learned from our internal VOC, and this took a lot of time, a lot of iterations. Once we were done with this product design or product concept, we got into technology. First step was technology strategy. This is where we started hiring the engineers, bringing in the architects, starting to decide what we were going to do on platform. We spent 3 months building and another 2 months finishing up, and we released the product. Beginning to end, 11 months to put out a health product on a platform. It was pretty profound, and we couldn't have done it if we had started from scratch, really. So we reinvented the Salesforce platform for healthcare. So I'll show you some of the cool ways we did that. Case, which you can imagine in the CRM is a pretty fundamental object, became care plan. Account and contact, again, fundamental to CRM, became patient. And tasks became health interventions. I'm not talking about relabeling these things, because that was part of it. I'm talking about utilizing them in a different way. So case then had a construct of problems, goals, and tasks, which is how we do healthcare. It's not how you do a customer service call, that's how you do healthcare. Account and contact is a patient of wanting to keep that individual and wanting to make sure that we could create an entity that was the patient, and of course tasks, which is used for all kinds of things within the Salesforce platform. So it was all about reinventing the platform to be able to use it for healthcare. My mandate to the team was 20% custom, 80% platform. That is the only way we were going to get to the finish line. And why was the finish line so important? Because there was this huge show. If anyone's, not Dreamforce, HIMSS, which happens in Las Vegas and in Florida, huge healthcare show. And we wanted to be able to show the product and demonstrate it in 2016. So we said 80% platform, 20% custom. And frankly, this number has vacillated a little bit. We're now on our 11th release. But it stayed this way for at least a year. 80% platform, 20% custom. This is what we created. This is Health Cloud. And what Health Cloud does is it creates a series of applications that are developed on this platform. So Health Cloud is a platform on a platform. And it delivers these kinds of solutions to our healthcare customers. So utilization management, care management, home health, consumer engagement, onboarding. Those are all applications that are built within the Health Cloud platform, built on top of a standard data model, which can be leveraged by our customers to create even more applications. Again, we created a platform on top of a platform. It's important to pay it forward, super important. And we built it on this platform. And this is how we thought about it. This is known as the cake slide, very technical term. But the underlying platform is Salesforce. Then there is the CRM platform, which is something we call Service Cloud and Sales Cloud. And on top of that, we built some very specific custom things that constitute Health Cloud. When our customers get this product, they get all of it. They get this whole thing. So they don't just get Health Cloud, they get all the security and the access control that's sitting in that underlying platform, some of the objects that are sitting in the CRM platform, and then they get the stuff that is very specific to healthcare. Company's been, in terms of Salesforce, if you guys aren't familiar with Salesforce, most people are in the Valley, has been in business for 20 years, and it started here as a sales product. And it's been evolving, acquiring, and here's Health Cloud, launched in 2016, and then we acquired MuleSoft last year. But these are all the products that have been built on the same platform. And the other thing that's super cool for me, because remember, this is a mission for me, is Salesforce's mission is to give back. So we're all encouraged to give back volunteer hours, we give equity, and we also support not-for-profits. And so as part of my work, my product gets used at people like Easter Seals, which is an organization that works with autistic kids and provides that service to them. So very cool to be able to do this work. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to rely on platforms? Why are they so important? We have 1.4 million developer jobs. I don't think everyone in this room must know this. We have 400,000 computer science students. So everyone can do the math. We can't expect our engineering teams to do everything. They can't. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough talent to be able to deliver everything. So we must accelerate with platform strategies. So just want to talk about all the advantages of it. Certainly the speed to market, right? 11 months, we got our healthcare platform out. Handspring, we saw some amazing innovations. Lower cost delivery for the same reasons tied to that. The other thing that happens at companies like Salesforce is the rationalization of the code base. So when the company created those initial objects that I was talking about, case and account management, all of those things, when we could translate that into healthcare, it was a phenomenal way to rationalize code that had been built over those 18, 19 years and make it extremely relevant for healthcare. Interoperability is something customers are asking for all the time, particularly in healthcare. When we build applications all on the same platform, we're able to give them that interoperability. These are not point solutions. These are all built on one platform and work very seamlessly with each other. And then there's the ecosystem. I talked about Apple, built a phenomenal ecosystem, but I think we've also seen the same thing at Salesforce. So what you're seeing here right now is we built the Health Cloud, but now we've got all these companies, some are large, some are small, that have built some very specific applications and are creating relationships with our healthcare customers to be able to deliver innovation. So this company, HealthWise, in the market for 42 years, creating patient education content. They created an application so customers could just take all of that data and use it within Health Cloud. Salesforce doesn't do anything except build a platform so that they could build an application. Make sense? MCG has health protocols that they've created, again, integrated into Health Cloud. These guys, Genia, has built a phenomenal analytics application with claims data and healthcare data. Again, what they've done is build something that seamlessly integrates into the platform. For the customer, it just feels like an end-to-end solution. So the way that we do it and the way that I'm really committed to investing is we have open APIs and we have APIs across the entire platform. We have standard-based exchanges, and if anyone's in healthcare, this will make sense to you. There's a FHIR standard and HL7 standard. We also acquired a company. MuleSoft has thousands, I said hundreds, but I mean thousands, of connectors and integration points because interoperability is another benefit of building on a platform and building like a platform. So I've talked about all the advantages of a platform, but I think certainly I've had the experience of building on a platform. but I think also had the advantage of building a platform. And so for me, that's an important organizing principle when I think about products is, can I build on a platform? And can I build a platform? Super important. Okay, with that, this is my contact information. Please feel free to get in touch with me. Now I think we're doing Q&A. Thank you. Okay.
Hi, Matthew. Great talk. What are the metrics that you would look at to qualify the success of your platform, such as number of API calls from third-party developers and so forth? What types of, I guess, KPIs will you use to measure the success of this particular platform beyond the traditional financials?
Sure. I think that when we were looking at I'm actually going to go back to that slide. The way that we did the whole measuring success is we said there were key areas where we ought to have complete solutions, right? And so when we looked at partners that came to us or we went to them, we said, how do we completely fill a gap from end to end with the solutions that we can get on the platform? So we thought of them as solutions and part of a solution, less in terms of API calls and how many applications there were, but more about how we could say to our salespeople and to our customers, look, we've got a solution in post-acute care because you're going to use Health Cloud, and you're going to use My Strength for mental health, and you're going to use HealthWise for patient education, and you're going to use Kairos for scheduling, and now you will have a complete solution. That's how we define success. Yeah.
Hi. So I work for Kaiser in healthcare data analytics, and the problem for us is that there are at least 8 regions within Kaiser, and let alone just in Northern California, there are 6 service areas. So you're saying that the Health Cloud platform can work for each epic, for each service area within different regions because they're all built differently.
Yeah, it could. It could absolutely work. So I would encourage you to think about the fact that there are 8 different platforms made by the same company that are doing the same job within your organization. It's a little concerning, right, for a second, just for a second. So I think what we think about, the way we think about it, at least at Salesforce, is we have a set of connectors and APIs. We have a data model. We want to be able to bring all that data from a disparate set of systems, because at the end of the day, you should end up with one patient view, one doctor view, right? Not 8 views. So the integration and interoperability I was talking to you about, that's all about bringing that data into one data model through connectors to have one view of those key constituents within your organization.
But if I build this structure, let's say for reimbursement or risk analysis, which is what I'm doing, we're having a hard time implementing our own system in one service area, moving, let's say I'm working on Northern California and I want to move my whole platform of risk analysis over to, let's say, Washington. Mm-hmm. The problem we're having, because programs are proprietary, the algorithms might be in place, but coding it per se is difficult because the clarity structure in Epic is the tables are all different between Washington State and Northern California.
Yeah.
And within Northern California, there's 6 different ways to look at it. So
right.
Salesforce can pick up all of these instances already and just
that's right.
fashion.
Yeah.
So we can just move the whole, like a cookie cutter model, we can just move the whole.
Once you have the normalization of the data within the Salesforce platform, so once you've got that standard layer,
right,
then you could build your data analysis on top of that. We do have customers doing it now.
Who does the normalization?
So once we have integrations, you guys have a phenomenal IT organization. They actually could build the integration of all those 8 different systems into one layer, which would be the Salesforce layer, the Health Cloud layer. And on top of that, you would build your application. So that's how it's done today. But they're doing it in many organizations. There's so much M&A in healthcare that's happening all the time. They've got 5 different instances of different AHRs. They've got data sitting everywhere. They want to bring it into one instance. That make sense? Good. Go ahead.
Can you talk a little about your VOC work? It seems like a very broad space. So wondering how you tackled it. Did you use any firms? Have any recommendations?
So especially early on, the VOC was done by me. My interviews, I hired a consultant to help me because there were so many. I chose in that instance to not go outside the company. And because the company is big enough now that there's a publicly traded company, I didn't want to go out to customers and start talking about this future product that we were going to talk about. But what I found is that there's lots of people within the organization that really know the customers. So customer success folks, or our solution engineers, or our account executives. So I interviewed 60 of them and asked them about what pain points they were seeing in the market. In the healthcare market. We have a verticalized organization in healthcare, so there's people dedicated there. So they were able to give me that feedback. Now my requirement for all teams is that if you're a product manager, you've got to be talking to at least 2 or 3 customers a week. There has to be a continuous stream of VOC. There's a product advisory council in place. We have payers, we have providers. They all come in a room every 3 months. We show them new product ideas. They give us feedback. They tell us what might work, where there might be issues, and then we follow up and do deeper dives with them. So that's how VOC works, but it's all internal. There's no firms or agencies involved. Yeah?
Hi.
Okay, you've got the mic.
I have 2 questions. The first is, you started off with a blank slate approach to the product design, and then you had constraints of building it on an existing CRM system. Right? So can you speak to your experience of the constraints on building these features on an existing CRM system?
Yeah.
And the second thing is, can you also speak about once you started going out to market, and I'm assuming you went to existing CRM customers in the healthcare space and started offering this as an additional product. Mm-hmm. Some of the challenges that you found, especially in the initial days, with that 80-20 approach that you took.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's interesting. I think I've always thought, and I still continue to think of that constraint as an opportunity. Because I know for a fact, having built products from scratch, that there's no way to have delivered something like this in 11 months. And so the robustness of this platform was always an opportunity. The constraints were sometimes you're really tussling with things. I mean, trying to turn CASE, which has been used for service agents for 15 years, into care plan took some finagling, some architecture work, some real engineering feats to get done. But as long as you knew the requirements as a product leader, you could work with engineering to get that done. I think that the market welcomes when we bring something to market a whole. The healthcare market in particular, there might be other industries that do it this way. They want you to just give them a solution, right? For years, they've been buying point solutions. They buy a lot of point solutions. They get one job done. They do it very well. But let's say it's care management. So healthcare says, I need a care coordination, care management platform. I just want you to give me something that's pretty much done. I'll customize it a little bit, but don't make me customize all of it. That was the big shift from where Salesforce was at before. It was a really horizontal platform. Healthcare companies were still able to really customize Salesforce, but boy, did they appreciate that we'd gotten them almost all the way there with a product. So I think in terms of that, there was a huge reception and an immense amount of trust actually in the Salesforce platform. Before Health Cloud existed, all these things that are up here weren't really happening on the Salesforce platform. And so once we had the right data model, the right workflows, they started to trust us with their patient data, and then they were starting to execute on these different applications.
With regards to patient data, how do you ensure privacy on Health Cloud?
I mean, Salesforce is, trust is our #1 value. It's absolutely our #1 value. So beyond patient data, we make sure that we do everything to control the security of the data, the infrastructure, very, very aggressive access control and security built in the platform level, so that customers can feel confident with where that data lives and that other people can't access it. So we sign something called a BAA. If you're in healthcare, you know what that means. We sign a BAA, and we ensure our customers that their data is going to be safe and no one else is going to look at it, and we're not going to sell it, and we're not going to use it for any other purpose except to hold it for them.
All right, so first of all, go Bruins. But Can you speak a bit about the type of companies that are using the entire platform at the moment? Are there big medical companies? Which categories are they falling into? Hospitals?
When you say the whole platform, do you mean the whole Salesforce platform, or do you mean the whole Health Cloud platform?
The health platform.
So I'm trying to think of the ones I can talk about publicly, because I can't talk about ones that I can't talk about publicly. So there's an organization called Mount Sinai out of New York that uses Health Cloud to manage a huge population of Medicaid patients, classic population management. There's a little company called Johnson & Johnson that uses us to do patient services. Patient services is a brand new area that's coming up in life sciences, where pharma companies are saying, we're going to offer patients directly some services to make sure that they get on a medication, they stay on a medication, because they figured out lifetime value is very, very high when they do that. So we have companies like Johnson & Johnson, AbbVie, and other life science companies that are using the platform today, providers and payers.
So because you got so many advantages of building it on a platform, you were able to move quite fast from a feature development perspective, and you were able to build a huge amount of stuff in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how, like, that speed can sometimes be almost how did you keep all of your different disparate applications consistent from a UX perspective, from an interoperability perspective, from not asking for the same thing in two places? So when you were making such a speed of feature decisions across your organization, how did you keep aligned when you were moving that fast?
I think it comes down to, that first release was an MVP, and I sometimes joke it was an MVP. So it was very light. And I think the other thing about Salesforce is we have this mandate to release 3 times a year. This is our covenant, if you will, with customers, so we release 3 times a year. So we eventually, over a year, over the next 3 releases, caught the product up. So it wasn't just trying to stuff it full of features. It was aligned on a roadmap that then developed a set of features, again, to deliver a set of solutions to the market. I feel like you asked another question that I'm forgetting.
So like it's the interoperability between all of these disparate parts. I suppose the MVP approach obviously makes sense. You build a silver thread and then you flesh it out. But you also spoke about your desire for your customer base to have a complete solution.
That's right.
To them. So how did you find early adopters when you were not necessarily delivering a complete solution?
Well, a couple of ways. One is with those early customers, we were very aggressive with roadmap discussions, right? So we weren't selling to the roadmap, but we were telling them, if you're going to customize all this stuff while you're on this platform, just want you to make sure that you're customizing in alignment with where we're going, so that they didn't have a customization. Then we come in with a new product, and all of a sudden the thing is not interoperable anymore. We did a lot of those discussions with customers early on. We gave them very full, open kimono access to the product team. Yeah, it was super important. You have the mic.
Yeah, so you're dealing with enterprises who have really deep historical legacy, deep roots. What have you found is the thing that gets them across that gap to move away from that? And in terms of how you enter the organization, do you do pilots? Do you go in on a particular vertical or segment and then expand from there?
Yeah, I have an allergy to pilots, so we don't do them. So I think, let me talk about this. I talked about it already. I mean, especially in provider organizations, payer organizations, life sciences is kind of greenfield. So there aren't systems of record there. Providers are tough, right? So if you've got an Epic, you've got a Cerner, you've got an Allscripts, then all you can do is, we're not trying to replace that system. We don't want to replace that system. Those systems play a role within an organization. We've been very aggressive about the APIs, about the connectors, so we can pull all that data into this healthcare CRM platform and then build applications, build analytics, build patient experiences, but not trying to replace their existing systems. That has not been our go-forward position in the market. You can't. It's too hard a battle. Yeah.
So when it comes to platforms, you often have this chicken egg problem. I mean, the developers are interested in your platform once you have customers. Your customers are interested in your platform once you have developers.
Right.
So in that initial part, how do you make your platform attractive to the customers?
You mean the partner?
The partners or the customers, both.
Well, to the customers, like I said, we were very open kimono, very hands-on, very white glove. gave them a lot of access to product, gave them a lot of access to engineers, we gave them a lot of access to customer success. Developers were tricky. So what we did, going back to that view, we focused on a certain use case, which was, not that. When that arc I was showing you with all those platform solutions, this one, so our very first MVP use case was care management. So then you say, okay, well, you can't do care management if you don't have protocols, right? And Salesforce never is going to do protocols and never should do protocols because that's not what they do well. So we then made contact with MCG, which is one of the biggest protocol companies in the market, and encouraged them to build on our platform. Again, gave them a lot of encouragement, development resources, not exactly our development resources, but our partner resources. And then the other piece was also around patient education. So health-wise, company based out of Idaho, I went out to Idaho and I said, okay, we need patient education on this platform. Without content, this won't work for our customers. Again, encourage them to build it so that what we could say to customers is, look, we've got care management. We've got Health Cloud. We've got these 3 solutions. They work seamlessly with the platform, and we could say that. Once we got that momentum going with those first 5 or so, then others just came to us. And then it grew from there. And we had a dedicated business development person, too, who's just pounding the table, trying to get more of these people on the platform. Yeah.
Kind of question related to how do you think about drawing the line between what use cases you solve with the platform and what use cases you expect with partners?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I don't ever think it's my decision nor the partner's decision. It's really about what customers need, right? And it's interesting because in healthcare, it feels like everyone's a snowflake, everyone. And so, sometimes, let's say, I talked about care management. We may have built a platform that's essentially designed to do that, but then it almost always needs a partner to take it that extra mile, to take it from 70% to 100%, to get it to be what the customer needs. So I don't draw a line particularly, but I think there's a natural evolution in terms of how far we're able to go and then where customers typically need a solution to be, and that's where partners are super critical for us. Very, very critical. Yeah. Yes.
You were talking about the 80-20. Can you throw some light in terms of how you came up with that 80-20 and what are the constraints that kind of drove you to that 80-20?
Well, the 80-20, the math around that, and not super precise, but the math around that was the only way you could do it in 11 months. It was the only way, because if you were customizing code and building each of those features anew, with all the security, the access control, the state changing, case is a brilliant object because it maintains a state change across different lines of the process. If we had done that across the board and customized all of it, it would have taken 2 years to build the platform. So 80-20 was kind of the math around how do we get a platform in market in time and trust that we would release every 3 times a year and we would continue to make the platform better and better. It's not 80-20 anymore. It's definitely switched more towards custom, but that's because we're building richer features that as the customers are asking for it.
I noticed you said that when they buy the
Cloud.
they also get the CRM and the security.
Right.
And so when you're working in general, is the development team or the engineering team across all of those or do you have to coordinate with the different groups and they each have their own roadmaps and the challenge is there of when there's dependencies?
Yeah.
When you're making changes.
That's a great question. So they all have their own roadmaps. And so we have to be very careful and rigorous, and the team has been phenomenal about doing it, about noting those dependencies early on and then communicating all the way down the stack. And sometimes we'll have an issue where we will have done all our QA, we will release the product, and there's a bug. And the bug is actually coming not from Health Cloud, but from platform. But generally speaking, the team across the board has been super cooperative in saying, that's our bug, we will deal with it. Not my problem, they will deal with it, they get on it. But yes, you're right, it's different roadmaps, different teams, and a coordination that has to happen across all of them. Yeah, yes.
Do you work closely, does your group work closely with the VPs in those other areas?
Yeah, we try to work closely in terms of our roadmap. Think about, we've particularly done a lot with Service Cloud. So I work very close with Service Cloud to make sure that we have an understanding of where our roadmaps are going, and making sure that we end up at the right place relative to our customers. But lots of coordination that has to happen, for sure. Across product, but also engineering. Yeah, for sure.
Just out of curiosity, why do you have a number of
I don't know. I just, I was at a startup before I was at Salesforce, and I just feel like, just me, it's a personal thing. It's not a Salesforce thing. It's just, I felt like people wasted a lot of time with pilots. It was one of those, I have become more of the mindset of, if you like it enough, put a ring on it. Let me make it attractive for you to put a ring on it. But pilots, people just, sometimes, some customers would just spend a lot of time spinning, and lots of people making committee decisions and then never getting to a conclusion because they hadn't committed to it and they hadn't gotten the resources around it. That's what pilot allowed them to do. I think it makes sense in some cases, but it didn't make sense for me at Salesforce. We didn't do it. We do pilots with piloting our data models. So it's called a pilot. It's not a GA product. It's just being piloted. But it's not piloting to see results or make a marketing thing out of it. It's to get feedback back to the engineering team.
You had mentioned about the app exchange ecosystem, the multi-billion dollars for Apple. What would you suggest for like the ISV partner to build additional functionality on the health cloud? What are some of the areas that you see needs that would enhance the health cloud rather than competing with?
I think it's a good idea just to look at what solutions are out there already. And I think start the experience from a solution point of view. So what problems are people trying to solve in the market? I can guarantee you that not every solution has been done so far. So even when I look at utilization management, that's a relatively new platform or application for Health Cloud. And there's some people doing some applications there, but it isn't robust yet. So for instance, that's a really interesting area, new. It's with pairs, and I think there's lots of interesting things that can be done around AI, around machine learning, around protocols for utilization management, around rules engines, around just ways to better do utilization management that isn't necessarily all built in the platform today. But I think you have to explore the solution set and see where there's openings. I'm happy to have the discussion with you too.
The inception of the business case for launching Health Cloud was based on the fact that Salesforce was realizing that many customers were customizing the solution for health, or was this realization, there's this market out there that we haven't touched yet that we should go after?
Yeah.
Or how do you start thinking about going into this vertical solution?
Yeah, it was actually a mandate by Keith Block, who's our chairman. He was at other tech companies where they had specific industry strategies and seen how effective it is. We talk about it speaking the language of our customers. When we give, the realization was there were thousands of customers, by the way, healthcare customers before I got there, thousands. But what we realized is we're giving them a horizontal platform on which they're having to customize to get to these solutions. Well, what if we get them 80% of the way with a solution built for them, and they can build the last 20, again, the platform style, and get themselves to a solution? I think the whole goal of the products, industry products, there's also one on the financial services side, was to accelerate our customers. So they weren't customizing everything. And we were speaking their language. Yeah, and 70% of the logos that came onto the products businesses that came onto Health Cloud had never done business with Salesforce before. So it was a phenomenal multiplier effect. You have a question? So help me understand vendor lock-in.
So if they're going to be committing to building analysts on a Salesforce platform, then it's going to be very difficult to remove or make decisions to switch out of that at their point, right? So
Sure.
there might be customers who are hesitant to make that kind of decision. But bring in another platform, whatever platform they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, healthcare doesn't tend to switch much. They spend a long time making a decision about everything. A long time. I mean, they will spend years on a purchasing decision. Once they've made that decision, they've committed to that decision. They will build on that decision. They're not big on the switching. That's not a healthcare thing. Or life sciences, actually. They commit. They do a ton of due diligence. They give you a lot of feedback. Once they commit, they're in. And they're in for the long haul. So, I mean, there's always that risk, right? But they've done so much of the due diligence that I personally don't have any experiences where the customers have been like, oh no, I made a mistake. It's a lemon. That's because they just spent so much time on the due diligence. One more? Okay.
Yeah, I had a question. You have Cerner there as an EMR that's on your platform. Is that truly integrated to like every Cerner site can now access all these other applications? A central part, I guess, of healthcare is the EMR. Right?
Yes.
That's where the physician is all their work, a lot of great data there. And I'm wondering if like, when do we have Cerner there? And or do you have an EMR that's part of your ecosystem? The hospitals come on, access all the services.
We don't provide an EMR. The reason Cerner is there is we have a strategic partnership with Cerner. So what Cerner has done, if you're aware of their healthy intent product, their population management product, that essentially is acting as a data lake, and it's able to integrate all the data from and to Health Cloud and from Millennium and to Millennium. So they're able to use the EHR and the Health Cloud for engagement, patient experience, care coordination. Their EHR for EHR, and they've built a bridge, which is healthy intent, to create that exchange of data. So they've built that integration essentially between their technology, their EHR, and the Health Cloud platform. Yeah, super cool.
Sorry, one follow-up to that, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So then could physicians and Cerner and let's say Alabama connect patients, Philadelphia, maybe like both Cerner hospitals. Cerner is on your platform, so get physicians and patients.
Mm-hmm. But remember, healthy intent is that bridge, right? So the organization would have to have healthy intent and have it at both of those organizations to be able to do that level of what you're talking about, that interoperability. If you just had Millennium everywhere, it isn't all in the cloud and it isn't all in Health Cloud. You'd have to have healthy intent, or you would have had to build some kind of integration into Health Cloud so you had that one layer on top of those two Cerner instances. Yeah. We're out of time.
We're out of time, but we do have more time after
around.
this. Yeah, Rita will be around. You can come up and speak to her. We'll have more time to mingle and hang out. But I did want to say thank you so much. That was great. And warm round here to say thank you. And then we're going to do a quick 5 minutes of shout out. Shout out, if you're not familiar with it, is where the community can come up and ask questions, try to meet people, see if anyone's interested in working on a product with them. First two people that come up to shout out will get a notebook. So basically, just come right over here. I'll hand you the microphone, and you can just say, I am looking for someone to talk with about product management or something along those lines.
Okay. I don't know that. So my name's Gabriella. Boone and I volunteer for our products account. He's at Google, I'm at Workday. We're looking for other product managers that want to volunteer for a products account. We come a little early, have dinner together. It's a good way to meet other product managers, and you also get to go to the event complimentary. Oh, and so to just reach out to me, Gabriella at products.count.com. So Gabriella, 2 L's and A, at productaccount.com.
Hi, I'm Stefan. I'm currently looking for a product manager. If somebody's here looking for a job, I was in the same position just a few months ago. Was at this event a few times. I'm working in the IT space with Siemens. We do building technology. We build these apps that read these sensors that monitor you, and nobody knows what it is. We don't even can't figure it out ourselves, but we know it's one of those. And we basically put them in an app. So it's a B2B2C app. Our B2B part is well liked. Everybody loves it. But our B2C app looks like an admin panel that should be in the basement. Don't tell anybody I told this. That's this way. But so if you are a senior guy that has like 5-year plus experience and know what makes an application really sticky to the user, what really drives emotional connection to the app, those type of things. We'd love to talk to you. I'm here with Abby. It's over there. So come and talk to us. The company is called Comfy App. It's a recent acquisition of Siemens. Comfy, like being comfortable. So it's COMFYAPP.com. Take a look. The job is also on there. Thank you.
Hey, I should probably speak up a little louder. My name is Amandre Muhammad. This is my co-founder, Desmond. We moved all the way from Youngstown, Ohio to San Francisco to start Movies app. It's basically an app for you to watch independent theater movies on your phone and tablet. And we developed facial recognition to replicate how movie theaters charge per person. So eventually our goal is to bring theatrical movies to your phone and tablet, like Disney and Warner Brother films. That'll probably happen about 5-8 years from now. So that's how we're starting off with the independent movies and working our way up. And if you would download our app and watch a movie like on your way home or on BART, that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna be out over there, and definitely gonna eat a lot of more pizza.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael. I'm a principal at Mighty Capital. We're the venture arm of Products to Count. I'm here asking to see if there's anybody here at an executive level that's looking to understand more about investing, what investing's like, to join our Venture Scout program. So if you're interested, you can send me a line at michael@mighty.capital, or I'll be in the back as well.
Hi, everyone. I'm Atul Varshni. I've been a product manager for many years in healthcare. And I'm interested in a new position, primarily focused on doing new VOC work and building new products, concepts. That's my passion. So if you have any opportunities in that space, please reach out to me.
Hi, Matthew Cognac. I run business strategy and operations for one of our products at Genesis, which is a call center software. We have a number of positions open in product management for AI partnerships. So a lot of our AI team is is growing and hiring people. We also have internships for this AI team. We have additional position of product management for digital. So we are building some digital offers. So please let me know if you're interested. And then I was formerly in business operations, and we also have 3 open positions in BizOps. So if you want if you're interested by any of these for Genesis, so call center software, please let me know. Thank you.
Great, thank you. One last thing before you go is that if you check your inbox, you should have an email from Products Account and Eventbrite for an NPS score. If you can just give us some feedback on the event and how the presentation went, I'd be really grateful. We're always looking to learn more about how we can improve things. So go ahead and feel free to get some more pizza, get some more beer, mingle with people, hang out and speak with Rita. We'll be around. Thank you.